Hi, it's Janelle with Parsnips and Parsimony, and today I'm doing an overview and review of the curriculum that I used this past school year for 6th and 7th grade. And this is going to be a part 1 and part 2 video. Part 2 will be what we are looking forward to using in our upcoming school year. So if you haven't seen the video of what we were planning on using at the beginning of this past year, which would have been the 2015 and 16 school year, I will put a link up here where you can go watch that. And now I'm going to tell you how that actually worked out for us. Okay, so one of the first things that I changed this past year, and if you've watched that video, you know that I jumped out of the Abeka almost complete system of Abeka curriculum for my kids and decided to start doing some things that I thought would be more appropriate for them and their learning style. That was a huge jump for me because I had always stuck with the Abeka, but it was this gut feeling that I needed to switch for my kids. So one of the first things we switched to was the Life of Fred books. This is only one of them. We got 4 of them, and this is his language arts curriculum for middle and high school. The kids loved reading these. Now I made them do the problems in there in a regular spiral bound notebook, and they really enjoyed this. There was no fighting them over doing this. They really enjoyed it, and I would say overall this was a successful change to curriculum. The kids also did the Apologia General Science curriculum. I've already put that book away. It was pretty labor intensive, but I didn't make them do all of the writing. Now Charity liked to do the writing and the reviews in the back of the chapters where there would be, I would say it was like 30 questions and then a handful of vocabulary words for doing the definitions. She liked that for studying for the test. John hated it. So I said to John, if you can pass the tests and prove to me that you understood what you read, I don't care if you do the writing portion in the back. Just as long as you're passing your test, you're getting good grades, and you understand everything. The other change we made is we jumped to Saxon Math. And I just tell you now that the size of this book was pretty intimidating to my kids, and I think that sort of set them out on the wrong foot. Now Charity said she didn't think this was all that bad, but she got through the first 3/4 of the book and it went really well, and then the last quarter she got really confused by it all, and John, it was like pulling teeth to do math. It wasn't because he was having a hard time understanding it. It was, again, the writing aspect of it. He just didn't really want to write with it. So we are switching our curriculum for this upcoming year, so make sure you check out that video and see what we're switching it to, because I just did not have the heart to do another year of Saxon. That did not work for me as a mom trying to get my kids to do their math every day. It's not worth it to be nagging all the time. So I realize it totally works for some people, didn't work for us. Now the older kids had a semester, actually it was a 2-semester study on the U.S. Constitution, and that seemed to work really well. They enjoyed, or at least seemed to enjoy reading that. There wasn't a whole lot of actual work to go with it. But what I ended up doing is pulling out some online resources. They had some videos about the Declaration of Independence, then they went through the Constitution, and that really seemed to help pull this curriculum together since it was primarily a reading book. So that was really good. Then we obviously needed something for the end of the year because they had finished that. So I had gone to our local thrift store, and what did I find but a Bob Jones history book, and I'm not sure what grade this is. I'm thinking it's probably 7th or 8th grade, but I really don't know. And all I had them do with this is read through it. They didn't have to do anything else other than read it. And let me tell you something, I could not keep John out of this. Charity enjoyed it, couldn't keep John out of it. Now, it's more of just a general review of all of American history. So this was actually a great find. I think I paid $1 for this. I mean, I couldn't beat the price, and it was just an excellent review for them. Now, I also used some online resources. If you're not familiar with Nova, it's a PBS publication, and it's pretty much all history or science, and their programs are outstanding. That has been a huge thing, particularly for the little guys too, because Peter and Mary and Charity Peter, Mary, and Lydia all enjoy sitting there and watching them. The last one we just watched was Hitler's Super Gun. That was very interesting. We also watched some secret passages during, I think it was World War II, that the Germans had done. Again, very, very interesting seeing real life history, seeing these things the kids are reading about coming to life, where these people go and find these tunnels that they read about in history. So an amazing resource. It's made learning a lot of fun with the kids, and they really enjoy it. For art, we just did some YouTube online drawing classes for most of the year. We had some tears over that because some of my children are perfectionists, and if the drawing didn't look just like how they wanted it, there was some tears that went along with that. But again, that was all part of the learning experience. I was able to encourage them through it, and I thought we had a lot of fun because we were able to not only do Charity, John, and Peter, but we were also able to tag in Mary and Lydia with that. And even if it wasn't perfect, it was a great experience for them just to watch the online class. I mean, the classes last it depended on what we were drawing, 10, 15 minutes. They weren't that long. And it just was really good experience having another teacher, just being able to listen to them. John was working through this book, Jump In, a workbook for reluctant and eager writers. In the beginning, he did pretty well with it, and then, well, we got through about a third of it, and he just was not happy with it. And I think it was more, again, you probably hear this recurring theme. John seems to struggle with writing, and it's just, I think his brain goes faster than his hand can write, and that just is very discouraging to him. So we got through about a third of this, and we're going to continue working on that this year because this is actually a 2-year program. So I wasn't overly worried about that. I thought we at least made a good start with it. The older kids also work through, I think this is my new book, but the Wordly Wise 3000, and this is a vocabulary book, and I have to say, they liked this. This was definitely a fun type of workbook. It was easy, but they were still learning through it. Now, my plan was to go through these, which is Word Roots, and this is by the Critical Thinking Company. Again, I love this company for them to reinforce some of the things that they're going to be taking in their Iowa tests in the spring, but we ended up not getting to this quite yet, so we're going to be taking that up for our next year. I also had purchased this book, Steps to Good Grammar, and this is, you buy it once, you can copy everything out of it. So I did pull out some of these just before their Iowa tests and practice some of their grammar skills with some worksheets, and I would say they were neither here nor there, partly because it was the end of the school year and I think the kids had enough. But that I thought was good practice for the Iowa tests. Now Peter, he completed level 1 and he's working through arithmetic level 2. And Rebecca, and again, I love Rebecca for the elementary grades. I think they do a fabulous job really covering everything for the kids. So that's why Pete's in the Rebecca. Peter also had a health, safety, and manners book. This is an older book, but again, we only read through these. We don't. I use this as a springboard to discuss these topics throughout my days and weeks to the kids, so there's really not a whole lot that I do with this. Sometimes if I'm feeling really creative, I'll put together an activity or we'll watch something online a little bit more detailed about something that we've read, but for the most part, we just stuck with this for our health book. Peter also has been working through the Handwriting Without Tears handwriting books. I really like these a lot for my boys who, again, are somewhat reluctant writers. They seem to work very well, and Peter liked that he could do that on his own without much supervision on my part. For science, Peter was working through another Rebecca Enjoying God's World Level 2 book. And again, I don't have any worksheets or tests or anything. We just read through this, and then if we get to a chapter that's really exciting him, I use that as a springboard to go to the library and dig out more information and read more on that until I feel like Pete's ready to move on to something else, and then we continue reading through that book. Peter really, he lost the cover on this, but this is Spelling Workout, and if you guys haven't seen this, these are really nice books. I've done the Abeka spelling, but I haven't had a whole lot of success with this, but this was really nice because it was broken down by, like, this chapter is on the long E sound. There's a page that you read in the front with the vocabulary or the spelling words that you're going to be learning this week. And then there's not that many words to like overwhelm. This chapter had 8 words, and there's activities on this page, and then more activities. And these are really easy activities, but it was right up Peter's alley. He seemed to really enjoy this, and we are actually going to be doing this book again for the following year. The last thing that I pulled out for Peter, and we didn't do this every day, but you know, we sort of picked and chose what we were looking for that day, depending on Peter's mood. And this one is a modern curriculum press phonics. Now this one is probably from the 80s, 1987. But there's nothing wrong with it. It worked really well. It was just basic phonics. He seemed to do very well with that, so I did stick with that. We didn't totally finish this book. We'll probably continue on this upcoming year with this, and then I have more phonics stuff that I'm planning on working with him after we finish these books, but that will all be in that part 2 of this video on what I'm using for the 2016 and 17 school year. Lastly, Charity and John were using these Abeka reading comprehension quiz books. These are, if you haven't seen these are really great. The Iowa tests are famous for having these passages of reading here, and then you flip it over and they ask you 10 questions, and there's a fly on the lens. Get off my camera, fly. And then you just keep track in the front of your grade level, and it really helps increase the reading speed of kids and also the comprehension of what are they reading. I love those books for the Iowa tests, and definitely would recommend them to anyone. I haven't found anything else any other curriculum out there that has anything like this. So if you guys either know of something or you're looking for something, definitely check out the Abeka reading comprehension skill sheets. They're definitely worth their money because it just teaches them so much. I think that covers everything that we did this past school year. I hope this helps some of you guys answer those questions. Should you guys be doing some of the curriculum that I've showed you? If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. I will be more than happy to try to answer some of them, and make sure you go and watch the second part of the video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.